Welcome, listeners, to the ODFC Academy's podcast. I'm your host, and today we're walking through a very serious examination of recent regulatory actions right here in the fintech space. We're going to take this nice and slow. We'll look at the facts closely, step by step, to understand exactly what happened, and more importantly, how you can actually protect your business. We're focusing specifically on FEMA compliance and the strict regulations surrounding virtual digital assets. Okay, let's dive straight into this. 2,500 crore. Just take a moment to truly absorb the sheer magnitude of that number. This isn't just a minor oversight, you know? This is the staggering scale of alleged unauthorized cross-border money transfers that have recently caught the direct attention of Indian regulators. It establishes, absolutely without a doubt, the extremely high stakes involved when you're dealing with virtual digital assets. This single number right here represents a critical compliance gap that the entire industry absolutely must confront now. Here is our clear, structured path for today's masterclass. First, the ED Bengaluru raids. Second, the 2,500 crore VDA problem. Third, bridging innovation and regulation. Fourth, the 4 pillars of FEMA compliance. And finally, next steps for your business. Let's start with part 1, the ED Bengaluru raids. Now, what's really interesting about this is the specifics of the probe. Recently, the Enforcement Directorate carried out coordinated searches at 6 premises in Bengaluru under Section 37 of FEMA. The ongoing probe actually names 5 specific companies. We have Transak Technology India Pvt Limited, Carretx Technologies, Mokshagna Technologies, which you might know better as Xpat or Buyhatke Internet, and Abhibha Technologies. The authorities allege that these specific platforms facilitated the unauthorized virtual digital asset transfers we just talked about. We're just looking impartially at the facts of the probe exactly as they stand today. Moving right along to part 2, the 2,500 crore VDA problem. We really have to reiterate the massive scale of this issue. Again, we're talking about over 2,500 crore rupees in transfers through VDAs. That is a massive compliance grab for the industry. It shows us how rapidly digital flows can scale up, and honestly, how quickly your exposure multiplies if it's left unchecked. So the crucial point is this: technology alone does not insulate firms from foreign exchange rules. The ED's operation in Bangalore serves as a powerful, real-world reminder that robust, cutting-edge technical innovation simply cannot replace strict regulatory adherence. You could have the absolute fastest platform or the slickest user interface out there, but at the end of the day, the law remains the law. This brings us to part 3. Bridging innovation and regulation. You see, the whole landscape is shifting. Regulators now explicitly expect that fintechs and payment intermediaries don't just react to problems, but proactively anticipate those risks. They expect you to maintain perfectly transparent records and implement stringent controls that actively prevent these unauthorized cross-border flows from ever happening in the first place. And well, this is exactly where the ODFC FEMA Helpdesk and the ODFC Academy step in. Think of them as the essential bridge. They help organizations build compliant, highly resilient businesses while at the same time protecting customers and safeguarding your hard-earned corporate reputation. Let's transition over to part 4, the 4 pillars of FEMA compliance. Let's move to the actionable part and see how this all builds together. The ODFC Academy uses 4 highly structured pillars to secure your business operations. We're looking at practical training, custom playbooks, transaction mapping, and incident response. Let's break down each of these vital tools. Pillar 1 is all about practical, role-based training. ODFC Academy offers targeted courses designed specifically for your compliance officers, legal teams, finance staff, product managers, and ops personnel. You know, this isn't just your generic run-of-the-mill advice. This training covers the absolute basics of FEMA, sure, but it also dives deep into VDA-specific risks, those strict reporting obligations, and the very best practices for transaction monitoring. By combining clear regulatory guidelines with actual real-world case studies, your teams learn exactly what to look out for on the ground. Next up is Pillar 2, Custom Compliance Playbooks. Look, every fintech's different, right? So, the experts create bespoke FEMA compliance playbooks meticulously tailored to your specific business model, whether you're an on-ramp, a remitter, a custody provider, or a PSP. Just imagine having standard operating procedures for KYC and AML, comprehensive risk assessments, cross-border mapping, accurate record-keeping templates, and crystal-clear escalation protocols for suspected breaches, all built precisely for how your specific business operates. And this brilliantly illustrates our third pillar, transaction mapping and audit readiness. By working directly with clients to map the actual flow of money across your platforms and your third-party providers, we help precisely identify exactly where your FEMA exposure actually arises. But we don't just stop there. The Academy also supports mock audits and really thorough readiness reviews. This ensures that if push comes to shove, your firm can clearly and confidently demonstrate control effectiveness directly to the regulators and law enforcement. Finally, we have Pillar 4, Incident Response and Remediation. I want you to just pause for a second and imagine a sudden knock on your office door from the Enforcement Directorate. It's an incredibly stressful scenario to even think about, but if an organization faces an enforcement action or a sudden regulatory inquiry, the ODFC FEMA Helpdesk provides rapid triage. This includes immediate evidence collation, carefully coordinated responses, structured remediation roadmaps, and expertly guided communications. Listen, these aren't just services, these are absolutely vital survival tools when you're in the middle of a regulatory crisis. Now, let's get into our final section, next steps for your business. We've covered the risks, and we've outlined the structured solutions. Now the responsibility shifts over to you. I really want you to ask yourself, is your fintech truly insulated, or are you just waiting for an audit? Reflect on that deeply, especially in light of the 2,500 crore Bengaluru raids we discussed earlier. Technology is not enough. Good intent is not enough. Only structured, verifiable compliance is going to protect you. Please do not wait for that knock on the door. You can enroll in the masterclass right now at academy.odfc.app. If you need immediate assistance, or if you just want to discuss your specific vulnerabilities, reach out and contact the experts at help@odfcacademy.com or simply visit the website at odfcacademy.com. Thank you so much for joining us today on the ODFC Academy's podcast. We really hope this structured breakdown has empowered you to take full control of your regulatory obligations, secure your compliance today, and build a highly resilient